Namaste, my divine family. I was out here sunbathing this morning, doing some hatha. I decided to make a video on the importance of light and sunlight as well. To me, it kind of go hand in hand, due to the fact that light is healing and light is information. Light contains knowledge and wisdom, and so when we sunbathe, when we sun gaze, when we eat our sunlight, when we eat fruits in a raw food diet, we notice that alongside the increased energy levels, we also get that increased feeling of just luminosity, so to speak, increased lightness, where we just almost want to start floating, so to speak, as well as going back to that sunlight, the light, because that's our cells communicate with light, and information is passed through that light as well. And so we see that when we eat fruit, when we gaze at the sun, when we take in the sunlight through our skin, that we are taking in the healing rays, as well as that information, that knowledge. And that download is important because that's what helps us get more in tune with ourselves. That's what helps us feel the heart chakra more. That's what helps us become more grounded, because we get to see through clear eyes. We take away the blockages, we clear away the obstacles, we bring in that light, we bring in clear perception, and that clear perception is what leads us to tuning in and bringing in that intuition, that bodily intuition, the intuition of Shakti, Divine Mother. Because for those who've been on long fasts, for those who have really dived within that healing and cleansing process, I'm sure you guys have noticed how spontaneous the body just knows what to do at the right moment, at the right time, and it just starts to get into gear, so to speak. It just starts to get into its natural form once we take away these obstacles. And when we bring in that fresh prana through the sunlight, when we bring in that fresh prana through the fruits, the light through the fruits, etc., we begin to elevate our beings. And that's what is truly important, is the elevation of our souls and the manifestation of our divinity through this vessel, these temples of spirit. And so, not much more to really say. I'll dive more into the temple aspect, because to me, a big part of my own approach to spirituality is the mindset of this body being a temple, this vessel being a temple of spirit. Because what we really are is this self, that indwelling spirit within, in these bodies, this mind. All of this is just the temple for worship upon the altar of self. And so when we bring in sunlight, we are bringing in light into our temple. We are casting away darkness. We're bringing in fortune. We're bringing in positivity. Because research has already been shown that people who live in places lacking sunlight have higher depression and higher just negativity in general, because that is the importance. We are spiritual beings. We are beings of light, and we need light. When we lack light, when we lack prana, when we lack that energy, we become deficient, we become slow, we become lethargic, we lose that zeal, we lose what it means to truly be a human being. Because as in the Bible said, ye are gods. And most of us, and all of us, the general populace has forgot, I should say, what that scripture truly means, and what it truly means to live. Because most of us are not living in a godlike state. Most of us are not living in a truly human-like state. Because to be human is to be divine, because we were made in the image of God. And yeah, let's stay with that and meditate upon that, because that's where the power is, so to speak, is that our bodies are inherently divine. We ourselves are divine beings. And I will keep reiterating that every video if I have to, is that the importance that we are divine beings, that we are beings of light and bliss, because that changes everything. That allows one to take responsibility, allows one to see how they can get back, quote unquote, because we've never left that space, so to speak, but to get back to that space of divinity, to get back to a pure manifestation, because that's our inborn nature. And once we really start to imbibe into um, radiate, vibrate with that frequency, really start to tune in, I should say, with that frequency, then we begin to just elevate our beings day by day. And one of the first steps is taking in the sunlight, taking in the fruits, water, etc. All these natural practices that Mother Nature has given us, because she wants to purify us before we can get on to the deeper aspects of the spirituality and to the aspects of formlessness. But it's like one of the key aspects to diving deeper is purity of mind, purity of body. It's hard to dive when you have restless thoughts, when the body's aching and in pain. But when there's no pain, when there's no restless thoughts, or less restless thoughts, then it's much easier to dive deep. And that's what these practices will do, is help you to dive deep. So peace be with you all, my divine family.